Hello, this is Malorian, and now this is going to be my third and last game of the Warp 3 tournament, and it's my Orcs against some Skaven. So for this last game, we rolled up Watchtower again, and my list is still the same. I have my Savages without my level 4 this time, so no Shrunken Head, 2 Trolls, then in the middle I have my Black Orcs, and all my characters, the Savage War Boss, the Savage Great Shaman, and the Night Goblin BSB. I had the Night Goblin bunker in the back for some stupid reason, and then I have the Squig Herd in the far right. My opponent is actually my brother. We had been really worried when this was going to be an elimination tournament that we'd be up against each other near the start and have to knock one of each other out. But as it went, it doesn't matter anyway. And it was kind of funny because both of us got our butts handed to us in the very first game. It was kind of humbling. Anyway, what his list is the HPA. He has his horde of Plague Monks, Warp Lightning Cannon, then some Slaves, a big unit of the Storm Vermin, and in there he has his Warlord with the Fellblade. Behind that, the bunker with the BSB and Grayseer, more Slaves, and he has an Engineer in there, and then his Doom Wheel on the far right. Now, in this one, he was able to start with it, and he didn't put anything in it, and really my plan here is just to do my whole quick reform walk into the bunker type thing. So I'm going to be in the Watchtower right away with my Black Orcs. I'm going to have all my characters there and safe, and then my whole point after this will just be to go out and engage them with my other units and just hold them up, and knowing that if I can just beat these things up, that they can't then come back after me. So especially I'm after the monks on the left, if I can really reduce them, and obviously you can see that his Storm Vermin are coming right for me with his general. Well, not his general. His general is the Grayseer, but I have to really hit these guys hard with magic or something so that they're not a threat to me anymore either. And yeah, my very first turn, I'm already into tower there, and then I go for a Foot of Gork, and wham, I smash this unit here and just devastate it. And then after that, I have never really used Edbutt. It really never ever comes in, especially because I've dice doing other stuff. And now this time I thought, hey, let's go for it. It got through, got to his Grayseer, did 3 wounds, and boom. So all of a sudden, his bunker is smashed, it's fleeing, maybe his BSB will go off the board, and he's already lost his general and his main magic user. So big blow to the Skaven early. Otherwise, the board looks like this. You can see how my units are moving up. I had also got Foot of Gork to also land onto his Storm Vermin. I killed about 10, or what would that be? That'd be 8 that I killed in there. And yeah, pretty happy with this first turn. And although, this is obviously a big, huge advantage to me with him having no Grayseer in general, I still have to be very careful, especially with that Fellblade going around. Turn 1 then, he returns the favor right back, and his Plague Monks go into my Savage Orcs and brutalizes them. He kills 25 of my 40 before I even get the swing. Swinging back, I kill 10, and yeah, I just fail and I get slaughtered. Otherwise, you can see his BSB's unit rallied, and the rest of his stuff is just really moving up to engage and try and do their stuff. And now of course his Storm Vermin had gone into the tower and we'd killed some of each other. I, of course, didn't put my Warlord there, my War Boss, because I didn't want his Warlord here to kill me. But now I was perfectly set up so that my Squig Herd to go and counter on the other side. His Engineer unit actually had held back there so that he could be shooting at me with his Doom Rocket, but it went not far enough and didn't really do anything at all. And so now with me on the flank here, I'm just be ripping up these Storm Vermin. And this is what it looks like at the end here. So I went into the flank of the Storm Vermin, really beat them up, but not actually too much. I really did expect to kill a lot more. That's just the way it was. And they got really far away. I only went 5 inches and they went a whole bunch, so they got away. One nice thing is I got my Troll into his 1 slave unit, beat it, and of course no general to help them, and the BSB's too far away. They exploded, and so they're all gone. And otherwise, yeah, I think I went for, of course, Foot of Gork again. I always go for Foot of Gork. And I went and I killed a bunch of the monks. So now they're less of a worry as well. And even though these guys had to do what they did to go after the storm vermin, now he was able to counter with slaves in my rear and the other BSB in my flank. And even though the BSB in the flank was kind of a risk, at least if he keeps something there, I can't combat reform if by some miracle I don't break. And this is what it looks like then at the end of turn 2. So his HPA went into a blind rage and went charging off a random direction. His monks go and rally. His storm vermin rally. He goes and he destroys my squig herd pretty easily, and they explode. And especially because I'd lost almost none of my squigs, it was a pretty powerful explosion. Wiped out the rest of his bunker, wiped out his BSB and a whole bunch of his slaves, and killed some of my Black Orcs, of course, as well inside the building. And I just want to remind you, this is the end of turn 2. And look at how much we've lost already. This is so bloody. My turn 3 then, I really just try and work on those storm vermin, so I send down the Foot of Gork. It does some bashing onto them. I shoot at them a little bit with my arrows, kill a couple as well. They pass their panic, and then my troll is just zipping over to try and threaten these other slaves here. His turn 3, the monks charge my bunker and they flee and get away. His storm vermin charge the watchtower and they're an inch and a bit short. And then otherwise he's just moving towards me with his random movement things. I've already done some wounds to the Doom Wheel. I can't remember if that was from one of the explosions or if that was from Foot of Gork or what. I think it was a Foot of Gork, so it's actually fairly damaged already. And yeah, he's just trying to get back into me because he has to get this tower if he can. My turn 4 then, I have my bunker rally, my troll goes into the slaves, I'm starting to beat up on them, and then with Foot of Gork, I don't think anything happens this turn. His turn 4 then, he has his Doom Wheel go into the rear of my bunker, and really mess them up. I just barely have steadfast, and so I'm able to hold on. His monks are getting ready to go into the building. The HPA is just trying to get into a better position there. Now his warlord with the Fellblade had already taken a couple of wounds from the Fellblade hurting him, and so when he went into there, I was able to kill him off with my Black Orcs and wipe out the entire unit. So all the Storm Vermin and the Lord are now dead, and the game keeps going. My turn 5, I decide to finally go after his engineer. I kill his engineer with my troll. He kills almost all of the night goblins, and then when he has to chase me, now he's blocking his monks, so that was perfect. His turn 5 is really just trying to get some shuffling done. Yeah, I just kill more slaves in combat. Game keeps going. My turn 6, I now lose finally with my troll. It gets run down, but with Foot of Gork, I go and I really smash up the monks, so there's hardly anything left now. His turn 6, he goes into the building with the Plague Monks. Now my war boss can fight with no problem, so I go and I wipe out the entire unit. And I can't remember why the HPA is going way off. I think it's just to make sure he doesn't get zapped by the Doom Wheel. My turn 7, all I really get done is Foot of Gork scatters over and kills one of my own Black Orcs. His turn 7, his Doom Wheel goes into the building. I destroy it. I mean, he's just trying to do something desperate now, and that makes both these units... Well, I guess the slaves were already fleeing from the lost combat with the monks, but now the HPA failed, and so it's running and taking off. And yeah, from this point it really is just over. This does go on to turn 8, but really all that is just the HPA rallying and his slaves running off the board, so victory to the Orcs. The big thing of this game, of course, was just the Orc magic. First time of me ever using Edbutt and killing off a character, especially a Lord level wizard, so that was pretty fantastic. Usually, Foot of Gork, this is pretty much what the hope happens, where I smash his bunker, fails its panic test, and runs off the board. Now, that wouldn't have happened because his unit did actually rally after, but of course, Foot of Gork went on to smash his Storm Vermin and his Plague Monks, so it was just a huge factor in this game. And yeah, you know, even though my brother then suffered all that bad luck, because so many things were dying so quickly, we were just having great fun of it. You know, we're just tossing dice, taking off units, and, you know, just having fun playing the game. So lots of fun, good way to end the tournament. In the end, I had 2 wins, 1 loss. There was one other person that also had 2 wins, 1 loss. And when you really looked at it, the problem was that the tournament organizer really didn't work out the tiebreakers and things, and even though he was kind of tossing around ideas during this, because remember, this was supposed to be an elimination tournament, and because of the low turnout, he had to quickly change it. He just kind of said, you know what, both you guys kind of share first prize, you both can split the store credit, here you go. So, pretty nice. In the end, of course, this wasn't really a real tournament. You know, you can't, it's hard to say that with just 4 people, but this is exactly the same list I'm going to be using in 2 weeks, so it was really good to practice it and see how things go. A few things I wish I did have is I really missed my scroll. The Shrunken Head was really good, but man, that scroll could have really helped me in my Dark Elf game. I'm kind of really hoping I get to face that guy in the tournament, the actual Onslaught one in 2 weeks, so I can try and get some revenge. But otherwise, you know, I like the list. I like how offensive it is, how hard-hitting it is in Magic and in combat, and it should be a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys in 2 weeks with those reports. Thanks, bye.